It being 1:30, the House will now proceed to the consideration of private members' business as listed on today's order paper. Orders of the day.
Private members' business, consideration and second reading of Bill C-460, Sodium Reduction Strategy for Canada Act, standing in the name of Ms. Davies, Vancouver East.
Ms. Davies, Vancouver East, seconded by Ms. Sella, moves that Bill C-460, an act respecting the implementation of the Sodium Reduction Strategy for Canada, be now read a second time and referred to the Standing Committee on Health. Debate. The Honourable Member for Vancouver East.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very pleased to rise in the House today to begin the debate at second reading on Bill C-460, a sodium reduction bill for Canada. Mr. Speaker, I know that when we choose and select our private members' bills, a lot of thought goes into it because we basically get one shot at it. So I did put a lot of thought into what I would bring forward for my private members' bill. And as the health critic for the official opposition for the NDP, I tried to think of a measure that would have a very significant impact in improving the health of Canadians. And after looking at a whole number of issues and talking with a lot of people, I decided that this was probably one of the single most important issues that can be brought forward because of the overconsumption of sodium in all of our diets. And so I selected this bill because there has already been an incredible amount of work done on a sodium reduction plan for Canada. The provinces, the territories, experts have basically come together and said we absolutely have to do something in terms of reducing the amount of sodium that Canadians ingest. So that's why I brought forward this bill. Overconsumption of sodium is a major contributor to heart attacks, strokes, and other illnesses in Canada. And in fact, StatsCan estimates that Canadians currently consume about 3,400 milligrams of sodium per day, which is more than double the recommended intake of 1,500 milligrams. And it's estimated that 77% of the sodium consumed by Canadians come from prepackaged foods. I think any one of us can go in a grocery store and see Canadians poring over labels and trying to figure out what it is that they're eating. People do want to make healthy choices, but the way things are constructed now and the amount of sodium that is in the food that we're eating is really quite astronomical. Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to reduce sodium levels in the food supply by implementing the Sodium Reduction Strategy for Canada. Now, this is not a strategy that I came up with. It's a strategy that already exists. It was developed by the Expert Sodium Working Group in 2010. It was a group that was set up by the minister. Their report was released in 2010, but it has not yet been implemented by the federal government. So the core of my bill is to implement that strategy. The bill also prioritizes a number of areas where work needs to be done by ensuring that the amount of sodium in prepackaged and restaurant foods is reduced to safe levels. It will improve the labeling of sodium on foods. It will help protect children from being deceived by advertisements for high sodium foods. And here I just want to use Quebec as a model. Quebec has a very successful program around advertising as it affects children. And this is a model that we should be using in all of Canada to protect children from the junk food and the high sodium content that they're ingesting without even knowing it. The bill also would establish the Government of Canada as the leader in monitoring and ensuring progress is being made by food companies to achieve sodium reduction plans. Now, Mr. Speaker, in the bill there are all the details about how this will be done. It's very clearly laid out. And as I say, the core of the bill is to implement the strategy which already exists from 2010. Mr. Speaker, in developing this bill, I do want to say that it's had tremendous support across the country. I've been working with different organizations on this bill, and I just want to quote from some of them. For example, Bill Jeffrey, who's the National Coordinator of the Centre for Science in the Public Interest, who's done incredible work on this issue over many years and, in fact, was a member of the Sodium Working Group. What he points out to us, and to quote from his press release at a press conference yesterday, this year as many as 16,000 Canadians will die needlessly of heart attacks, heart failures and strokes caused by excess dietary sodium, 3/4 of which is added to foods by food manufacturers and restaurants. We also have the Canadian Medical Association, who point out to us, quote, Canadians consume, on average, 3,400 milligrams of sodium daily, well above recommended levels. High sodium levels in food are responsible for almost 1/3 of hypertension cases in Canada. Hypertension is a major cause of heart disease, heart attack and heart failure, stroke and kidney failure, and is an important contributor to premature death, disability and healthcare costs in Canada. It's estimated that 7.5 million Canadians have been diagnosed with this chronic condition, with an estimated 1,100 new patients being added every day. They further go on to say, the Sodium Reduction Strategy for Canada Act, this bill before us today, is an important piece of legislation that can lead to healthier lives for all Canadians, and we urge all members of Parliament to support it. That's from the Canadian Medical Association and its president, Dr. Anna Reid. Mr. Speaker, one of the main advocates of action and a strategy for Canada has been Dr. Norm Campbell, who's the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Canada Canadian Institute for Health Research Chair in Hypertension and Prevention and Control, and he's from Calgary, the University of Calgary. In his letter, he says, the bill provides concrete measures for reducing the amount of salt foods processors add to food. The measures proposed in the bill include close government monitoring and oversight and mandatory labeling of foods that fail to comply with sodium targets. If passed, this bill will, for the first time, provide Canadians an opportunity to even know if they are making a healthy or unhealthy food choice. And he goes on at length about what's in this bill, but I thought that that was a particularly pertinent comment. I also want to point out just the breadth and depth of the work that's been done on this issue of sodium reduction. Some members in the House may remember that a year ago we all received a letter that was addressed to the Prime Minister, and it was signed by 17 major organizations across Canada, including the Heart and Stroke Foundation, the Canadian Medical Association, and I just want to quote from that letter because it was a real convergence of medical and scientific individuals, experts, organizations who came together with a very significant letter to the Prime Minister. And what they said in their letter, and I quote from it from January 2012, they say, we are concerned that recent federal decisions to not endorse the federal, provincial and territorial sodium implementation report presented at the November 2011 Health Ministers Summit meeting will be seen as a signal to the food processing industry and food service establishments that our national government is not serious about the need to commit to the 2016 as well as the interim targets. The argument that the sodium implementation plan would fail to garner commitment from industry sends the clear message to Canadians that private interest takes precedence over food safety and their health and wellness of Canadians. So, Mr. Speaker, this was a very thoughtful, well-worded message to the Prime Minister from a year ago. In addition, since we've been developing this bill and it was introduced a number of months ago, we now have close to 40 organizations and key experts across the country who are supporting it. They include the Canadian Medical Association, the Canadian Public Health Association, the Dietitians of Canada, the Canadian Nurses Association, the Canadian Pharmacists Association, Public Health Physicians of Canada, Canadian Federation of Nurses Union, Hypertension Canada, the Kidney Foundation of Canada, Food Secure Canada, Canadian Institute for Child Health, Canadian Society of Internal Medicine, the Canadian Women's Health Network, and I've just read a very few of the endorsers. These are organizations, and there are also a number of individuals who have specifically endorsed this bill. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'm very interested to hear the comments of government members, of other opposition members, and I do want to say this. I think rarely in public discourse is there a time when a number of different interests come together and where there's a very strong consensus. And that's what we've seen on sodium reduction. So let's remember, there was an expert working group put together by the Minister of Health. They produced a report that was produced by consensus. It was a unanimous report. It included industry representatives. That report came out. There was no follow-up from the government. In addition to that, the provinces and the territories in their own meetings have considered this issue. They too have called on the federal government to take action on implementing a sodium reduction strategy. We see the body and the weight of all of these organizations across the country. So it seems to me that we are at a particular time where there is a very broad consensus about the need to take very serious action and to show that we do put public health, the public interest, as the top priority. And if this plan were implemented, there have been estimates that we could save something like $2 billion a year in health costs. But I'll tell you, what I'm really concerned about are the kids. You know, when you think about our kids and what they eat, and I know many of us are here as parents, we have young children, and we do the best we can to make sure that our children eat well. And yet it's so difficult to do with all of the array of products that are around us. And so when we think about what it is our children, what their health will be as they grow into adults, you know, sodium isn't the only thing. Of course, there's many factors to a healthy lifestyle. There are things that we can do ourselves, and that's certainly something that is a part of this bill by advocating for education and proper information and disclosure. But it seems to me that the need to ensure that there is a sodium reduction plan that is real, that is meaningful, and takes proper steps is absolutely essential. Many other countries have done this. The World Health Organization lists it as a priority. And I guess the sticking point is probably going to be as to whether or not it's voluntary or whether or not there is a plan that has clear target reductions as my bill would lay out. I would say this. It seems to me that we've had a voluntary regime and opportunity now for many, many years. And frankly, it hasn't gotten us anywhere. It's failed. So I do think it's now imperative that we see this as a public health issue that impacts all of Canada and all Canadians, and that the federal government must demonstrate its leadership and its commitment to follow through on the incredible body of work and the plan that's been produced. That, to me, is a duty, it is a public responsibility, and anything less than that is a cop-out. So I do want to argue today that this notion that continuing on some kind of voluntary path has not actually produced the results that we need to see. So this bill will move us in a direction to adopt the plan that was agreed to by the expert working group, sodium working group. It's a reasonable proposition. The steps contained within it are reasonable, and I think it's something that is achievable. So I would encourage all members of the House to not dismiss the bill because it's come from the opposition, but to actually look at the merits of the bill and to look at who is in supporting this bill. These organizations are nonpartisan. They base their decision on merit. They base their decisions about what they do on evidence, on medical information. And I think when they say that they're supporting this bill, maybe they don't agree with everything, every word. If it goes to committee, we'll take a look at that. But the principle of the bill and what it's trying to do is there, and I think it's now showing that it has very broad support. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that we're having this debate. I look forward to the debate, and I certainly encourage all members of the House from all sides to look at the bill in all seriousness and consider what we are here for.